be dealing with in today's session, right? Why you struggle to land a proper job in the UK. We're talking about key strategies that you can utilize to stay in demand. Okay, so I am always of the opinion that when the purpose of something is not known, right, or you don't have like a clearer picture or an overview, or will I say hidden insights, right, for a particular scenario, you might not know how to navigate that problem, right? It's not like rocket science. It's just when you have insight, this happens in our everyday lives, right? So when you have like insight into a particular problem, you would have strategies or experiences from people that you can utilize that would make your own process extremely seamless. So before we get all serious to the reason why we are in this session, right? So I just need you to drop in the chat. Is this your very, very first diary session? Is it the very first session that you're having with us at Amdari? And where are you joining in from? I just need that information. So if you could quickly drop it in the chat. I'm waiting for our responses. Where are you joining from? And I need a 1 in the chat if this is your very, very first diary session. Okay, so this person is saying joining from Ghana. All right, awesome. I can see some persons joining from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Abuja, Nigeria, from South London. Ira Oluwa is from the UK. Awesome. This is my very first time. Oh, Lesotho, nice. So guys, welcome to today's session. And we are absolutely going to be learning a lot, right? Because the essence of you taking out your time to hop on a 1-hour call, right, with the Amdari team is because you want to get value, right? It's because you want to learn. So I will just be moving to my next slide while I am still reading off our responses from the chat. Now, a summary about what we do at Amdari, why we have the license to hop on a call to teach you strategies on how you can effectively land jobs in the UK. Our goal is that we noticed a gap, right, from what you know and what is expected, right? When you, let's say, learn a foundational concept, when you, let's say, learn how to drive, if you were, let's say, back in Nigeria, you learned the basics of driving from probably like a family member and all of that. It's different when you are taking your driving test, right? So there's the aspect of what you know and what is expected. So that space that is in between, that is what we are closing at Amdari, that gap that is in between in terms of, you've taken a course, let's say, in any aspect of tech, in data science, data analytics, and then the other tech career paths that we have. But what is expected in the technological industry, it's absolutely different how you can, in your daily activities, apply strategies, collaborate with professionals on, or rather in achieving like your company's overall goals, right? So for you to get that level of exposure, that is just what we do at Amdari. We are revolutionizing the way professionals, African professionals, both in Nigeria and both outside of Nigeria, get industry experience that is very, very relevant. So I can see our responses in the chat. Welcome. I am absolutely excited to be here anytime I get to join a masterclass session to speak to other professionals as regards strategies that they can implement. I am absolutely excited. And before we proceed, I need you to just listen, right? For the session that we are going to have, just listen. If you need the slides and the recording for the session, I believe Tomiwa will be dropping a link in the chat that you could just click on and fill the antenna form, and you get the resources and everything that you need for this session. So I need a reaction. Are we good? Are we clear so far? Are we excited to be here? Awesome. So thank you, Elliot, Ore Oluwa, Anthony, Abimbola. Awesome. I'm loving our responses. So we'll be jumping right into the plan that we have for today's session. Moving to my next slide, this is myself. I am Esiogena Brima. I am a data scientist and I lead the internship experience here at Amdari. And I've had like a lot of experience as regards leveraging insights and being able to communicate like a business problem offering a or utilizing a data-driven approach. So right now, my mission is to make AI less complicated because I am of the opinion that once there's like a simplified foundational understanding or most concepts that we learned probably back in uni or in our work scenarios or environments, they're not really complex, right? But because there was no simplified explanation, right, at a one-on-one level, we were not able to effectively grasp. That's the way I see AI. When people talk about LLMs, when they talk about transformer architecture, when they talk about encoder, decoder, all of those scenarios, they're not really that complex. It's because there's just no simplified explanation, right? So this is who I am, and we can connect on LinkedIn or wherever we meet, right? So yeah, nice to meet all of you. Nice to meet all of you. I am excited to be here. So moving to my next slide, we have a brief overview of what we're doing here today, and we'll be out of this call in like an hour, right? Because I am of the opinion that time is very, very valuable. So if you'll be dedicating 1 hour of your time, right, to listen to me talk about strategies and all of that, you have to obtain value. And I best believe at the end of this session, you would obtain that value. So coming back to our schedule, we'll be starting off with reasons why you struggle to land a proper job in the UK, your pathway to striving as a tech professional. We'll talk about the Amdari work experience, internship, and a special offer to you from the Amdari team. Again, I don't want you to be overwhelmed or distracted. I just want you to focus, learn whatsoever resources we will be utilizing in this session would be communicated to you, right? All you need to do is to listen and learn. All right, so I can see our responses in the chat and I am loving it. We have a diverse, that's in terms of the demography of persons that are joining in, there are a lot, right? So we can see this is my very first session from Lagos, Nigeria, from Kaduna, from Ghana, from Scotland, that's nice, from Zambia. That's interesting. I can see Burkina Faso. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is going to be a very, 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 very interesting session. So we'll be jumping right into my next slide. Okay, I mentioned at the beginning, right, when the purpose, that's a very, very popular African proverb. When the purpose of something is not known, abuse, yes, I can remember clearly, abuse is inevitable. So I want to ask, I know that some of us will not be data analysts or we would not have had experience with data science or any data related scenario, but what do you think is the first stage of any problem or any project? Let me not give you the hints, right? So let's say I employ you in my organization and there's like a solution or a KPI that I would want you to meet up with as my employee, or I've given you like an overview of a project. What do you think is the very first? What do you think is priority before you can launch or move to other aspects of that particular project? Interest? Are you sure you did not see my slides? Come on. Come on. Interesting. Root cause analysis. You're asking the why. Guys, I need more responses. This is going to be a very interactive session. So I want to know that you are following me. I can see only 2 responses from I can see Muddy Elliott defining the problem, knowing what to do, gathering. I can see gathering information. Guys, I need us to interact because that's how I feel we would learn, right? When there's like a back and forth communication, I know that you literally understand what I am trying to communicate. So yeah, I need more responses. Identifying the problem statement. A well-explained problem is half the solution. Awesome, right? So if you, let's say, took the Google Data Analytics certification, right, the very first stage, you ask, prepare, process, analyze, share, act, right? The very first stage is understanding the business problem or understanding that's the end goal. Because once everybody on your team, if you've worked in scenarios whereby you had members of your team that don't, especially the dev guys, they don't know the theoretical goal that you want to achieve, right? But because they know that, oh, okay, I am meant to create like this new future, and then that's just it. They'll just like synchronize with the code and all of that. But once there's a baseline understanding of the fact that this is what we want to achieve, everyone in that organization or that team can effectively contribute to the success of that goal. So that brings me to my next slide, understanding the problem that you are trying to solve. Now, in correlation with what we have today, that would be, I want us to be brutally honest with ourselves, because as Nigerians, we get to, I will not say gaslight, that's a Gen Z word, right? We get to gaslight certain scenarios that happen to us, right? But I want us to answer this question, or if you don't want to send it into the chat, think about it critically. Why do you really struggle to find a job in the UK market? Because once there's an understanding of the baseline problem, you can now start researching on strategies to implement or techniques that you can use in solving that problem. This applies, this single understanding the problem you are trying to solve applies to other areas of your life. Once you can get a baseline understanding, clarity of, oh, this is the current problem I have. Now, the next line of action, right, from, I mentioned your ask, prepare process. The next line of action is in terms of preparation. What steps, what strategies, what can I do to ensure that, oh, this doesn't happen, this current trend or this problem, this solution that I am trying to derive, I can effectively come up with a scenario that would eliminate that. So I can see our responses in the chat. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I am loving the fact that we are interacting with each other and you are following clearly. So I'm just going to be reading some of them. Let's see. We have not been trained enough. First to conduct surveys and obtain data, missing information. What is the problem? Prepare the PID or scope. That was like an answer to the previous question that I asked. So yeah, guys, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. You don't need to tell me, right? So in case you feel insecure, but deep down, the reason why you are getting a rejection, because I get to speak to persons and they're like, I have applied to so many jobs and then I'm getting rejection. It doesn't even take 5 minutes. But the question I ask is, okay, for the previous rejections that you have gotten, did you send a mail, or was it that their ATS system just bounced you back automatically? Did you check if your what's it called, your CV, right? You imputed keywords that would synchronize with what is stated in the job description so you can pass ATS, because nowadays nobody has the time to manually go through your CVs, right? So those are the questions that you need to ask. It's very, very necessary. Don't just assume and then bring up the whole emotional scenario, that because Nigerians, we do it a lot, right? That's if you're from Nigeria, because I am Nigerian, right? We do it a lot, whereby we try to bring in emotions and say, I have tried, I have put in my effort, I have prayed, I have consulted. What's more do I have to do? But we forget that you need to reflect. You need to go back and think, what did I do wrong? What should I do now? What strategies do I implement? And guys, we'll be taking a very, very research-based approach to this, right? Because trust me, one thing that I have noticed from my own, because I've had the privilege to work with persons from diverse age gaps. Trust me, I've had to work with persons in their 60s and then extremely young professionals. And one key thing that sometimes is lagging is the fact that we don't like to read. I don't know if it's just from my own bias, but if you are on this call and you've noticed that from your interaction with people, they don't really take out their time to read, I need you to drop a 1 in the chat, particularly Africans. I want us to have we're starting off building context. We'll meet at a baseline understanding, then we'll launch into the strategies that you need to implement. Absolutely true. We do not like to take out. I don't know if it's because of the way we were trained or our interaction with our ancestors. So it basically just transferred from generation to generation to generation to generation and all of that. But we need to, in our own time, implement a new strategy. So I'm loving our responses so far, right? I'm extremely happy that you can synchronize with me. There's a saying, if you want to hide things from a black man, put it in a book. Absolutely. All right, so we will be taking a very research-driven approach because I want us, recall, I want us to meet at a point. I want to establish that baseline understanding so you can have your own personal reflection and know where you need to work on or strategies that you would need to what to implement. It's not rocket science. It's just the fact that there's something that you're not doing or there's something that others are doing that is differentiating you or that is making you not to get to that desired level. So moving to my next slide. So this is the Edge Foundation. Let me see our responses in the chat. All right, reading Rashid is saying reading actually requires a special training. No, it does not. Right. Fun fact is I started this trend of having to read books outside data science and artificial intelligence. And I'm in the process of reading a book that is 580 something pages. So I am proud of myself. Right. So that's out of scope of what we are doing. But I think that this is a trait that we should start developing so we can transfer it to our our own children and all of that. So coming back to my slide, if you know about the Edge Foundation, they've been in existence for the past 20 years, right? So clearly read what is on my screen. I can see some of our hands up. If you have questions, we'll have a session to answer your questions. That's when I'm done presenting. And again, I want you to just listen, synchronize with me, and we'll be good to go. Now, this is just the one for spring 2024. There's an executive summary for the entire year 2024. Guys, when you get these slides, that's after you fill, when you fill the attendance form that is sent to the chat, all of the resources that we have utilized today would be emailed to you. So you can click on the link and then view this. This is open source, right? You can literally Google it and then you get the response. Now, coming back to my slide. The UK skills shortage report highlights the what? Let me get my pen. So this is absolutely obvious. Highlights the growing gap between employer demands and workforce capabilities with a significant rise in vacancies due to lack of required skills, particularly in digital, technical, and healthcare sectors. Guys, particularly due to a lack of required skills. Let me just clear this. And then we'll proceed to my next slide. Recall I mentioned that I want to what? Set context so you understand this is the problem that is currently happening. My next slide. Experience levels and skill gaps is alarming. This is an excerpt that I took out from that same report. Skills shortages in the UK economy, skill gaps in space, areas where organizations report that skill gap were like obvious. Coming to read this, that's why I highlighted this. When you get emailed this slides, I want you to read it. Again, we've established the fact that we would develop the culture of reading moving forward, right? So we can clearly see vacancies that prove hard to fill due to shortages of applicants with the required skills, qualifications, experience were also on the rise. They were around 530,000 of this. Now, this is open source research that was done in the market. I didn't come to formulate it, right? The two most commonly cited reasons, let me use my pen so it's obvious for us. The two most commonly cited reasons for what? For recruitment difficulties where the applicants lack the required specialist skills, knowledge or qualifications, or that there were simply not enough applicants in the first place. Guys, again, the question that I asked us in my previous slides, why do you really struggle? So as I'm setting this context, I need you to be honest with yourself and detail out the reason why you really struggle in the first place. So moving to my next slide again, this is an excerpt from the 2024 executive summary, not the one for spring 2024. So you can click on this link. You'd also get access to view that report and you can read it. So by 2035 rather, there will be significant changes in the skills required to succeed in the labor market. Nearly 3/4, 73% of UK organizations are what? They are currently experiencing skill shortages. 11.7 million people aged 15 plus across the UK lack what? The essential skills needed for their day-to-day life. Again, guys, I am setting context. So moving to my next slide. This is a survey by Forbes. 93% of UK businesses say there's what? There's an IT skills gap. So if you're currently on the call, recall the question I asked you initially. Why exactly do you really struggle to get a job? Let's be honest, because these are just facts that I had to research. So there's evidence. So it's not the fact that Brima came up with all of these, assembled all of these, and then she came to present it. No, 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 no. So we can clearly see primary factors contributing to the IT skills gap in the UK job market is in terms of what? Rapid technological advancements, insufficient training opportunities, lack of relevant educational programs, and a competitive job market. So you can get access to this survey to just view it and get an overview. But I need you to follow me closely. Let me see. Somebody is saying that we struggle because we live out of UK and Europe. When you start learning by books, I can't see the form. So there are people in the chat that would respond to that. So I need you to focus, right? So moving to my next slide again. Don't worry, we'll be done with all of these facts and reports, but I need you to understand the most important soft skills in the IT sector. So we have what? Problem solving and analytical skills, we have adaptability, we have teamwork, we have conflict resolution, we have communications, we have leadership, vision, motivation. Guys, another mistake that we make as tech people is the fact that we focus absolutely on learning the tools that we use. Oh, I know how to use Power BI. Oh, I know how to use Splunk. I know how to use Wireshark. I'm absolutely good at Python. But then again, you're not going to be working with your laptop, right? Yes, you will be working with your laptop, but you'll be working with a team of persons, right? You would be collaborating, except if your organization has agents or they have like a bot, right? But you would have to communicate with people to achieve the long-term goal of that organization. And those soft skills are absolutely important. You know, I always tell people that if you spend a lot of time training your model or you spend a lot of time doing your analysis as a data analyst, but when it comes to presentation to stakeholders, you cannot effectively communicate all of what you spend so much time, especially in data cleaning. If you cannot effectively communicate that, then it's absolutely useless. All right, so coming back to my next slide. Now, this is another report that you get access to. So let me just proceed. Most entry-level roles require you to have between 1 to 3 years of experience. Most job seekers lose out on job applications because they lack experience and the required skills set. So I hope that, back then in debate will say, I hope I've been able to convince you and not to confuse you, but establish facts that you should critically think about why you really struggle to get a job. So if from all of the statistics that I have shown us on the call, don't try to gaslight yourself. Be absolutely brutally honest with yourself. There's a reason why you're not getting the job. And if you've come to that comprehension of the reason, the next line of action would be for you to prepare. That's your ask, prepare. What are the necessary steps I need to eliminate that whole scenario, right? So coming back to my slides, most entry-level roles require work experience. We can see the stats, right? This is the segment that requires no previous experience. Then we see 6% no previous experience required, 7% of the jobs that were surveyed at least 3 months, 23% at least 6 months, and we can see all of this. Then coming back, entry-level candidates are most often told inexperience is the reason why they were not hired. 49% lacked the required years of experience. 38% lacked the required technical skills. 33% lacked the required soft skills. Then we see lacked the required academic credentials, lacks the required cultural fit. Guys, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? So at this point, I want you to send in the chat, right? I know we responded to this before, but if you want to be honest and vulnerable in this moment, why exactly are you not getting that job? Or from all of the jobs, the 50 jobs that you've applied to, that you just go to LinkedIn and do a search and just be clicking apply, apply now, apply now, apply now. Why exactly are you not getting that? Why do you think you're not getting that? And just to be honest, right? We might not necessarily meet physically, right? But this is an e-meeting, and I want us to have that comprehension that, oh, this is where I have an issue. Recall, once you understand the problem that you are trying to solve, once you understand that this is what is wrong, then you can now start taking what subtle steps to eliminate that problem. So if we've been enjoying ourselves so far, I need a reaction. I need to know that you are following me and I'm not just talking and talking and talking. Can I get a reaction? Can I get a reaction? Awesome, 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 awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, so moving to my next slide. Now I'm going to be simplifying this for us. Research has identified these key problems. Okay, the very first one, lack of relevant experience slash underplaying past experience. You know, one mistake that some persons make a lot, especially when they travel for their masters and all of that, is the fact that they would want to just abandon the experience that they had in Nigeria before moving. But I want to ask, if let's say you used, let me use Power BI. If you use Power BI in Nigeria when you probably were working with an organization and then you had to travel for your masters, right? Is Power BI going to change? Or because of your changing countries, they will not say UK Power BI is different from Zambia Power BI. I need to see, I like this. I'm a very realistic and factual person. I need us to understand, right? Even if, let's say, you didn't have a technical role or you were an administrative assistant or you worked in a bank or you had to do audit, but then again, there are skills that you had developed during those processes, right? There are things that you learned, but because of this imposter syndrome that, oh, okay, I'm moving to a new country, I have to settle down, I have to get this experience, I have to do this and that. There's always that chaos, and then you'll be getting advice from everybody that this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. Sometimes it gets so absolutely overwhelming, but I need you to understand that you can't just throw away. It's almost like I say, let me just throw away the past 30 something years of my life, right? Or 20 something years of my life. It depends on your own age. And then let me start afresh. No. All of those experiences would have one way or the other contributed to who you are today. And those skills are absolutely important in the workforce. So coming back to my slides, employers report difficulties in filling roles due to applicants lacking necessary experience. And let me give you an inside hint. Let's say you just learned data analysis now, and you've never worked as a data analyst. There are ways that you can tweak and streamline your CV based on your past experiences. So long you had insight to those skills, right? You had to interpret, you had to draw insight, you had to analyze and all of that. There's a way you can tailor your past experiences, right, to applying for that role. It's just as if I am a recruiter and then you're applying for, let's say, a business intelligence analyst at my organization. Now I'm seeing that the previous experience you worked as, let's say you worked with a fashion house, then the next one I'm seeing that you worked at a what's it called, at event organization, then I'm seeing you worked as a customer care support or all of that, right? You need to be strategic because you need to be strategic in your application, right? The job market is competitive. I'm going to be realistic and 100% honest with you. It is brutally competitive. So you need to find a way to be an outlier. An outlier is just a scenario that deviates from the norms, as if you do data science and the rest. So you need to find a way to deviate yourself from the regular people that will just get their CVs and then submit applications and that's just it. No, you actually absolutely need to stand out. The next one is technical skills deficits. Trust me, this is the one that annoys me the most. You can see the job description. You honestly know you do not meet up to 50%. 50% is like the average mark because most times all of these recruiters, they can be absolutely annoying, right? So for a data scientist role, you can see PHP, Java, C++. For a data scientist role where you are majorly supposed to be centered in predictive analytics, you can see all of that, right? But sometimes these guys don't know. They just probably tell somebody to create a summary of a job, except that they want to post online, and that's just it. But be honest with yourself. 50% of the core tools that a data analyst, a data scientist, a cybersecurity analyst would need in solving or working for this organization, do you truly have it? Right. So instead of you to be, see, I need you to be realistic. All of this, I don't know if it's because of the way we grew up in Africa that you would be hoping. And it's absolutely good to pray, hope, but you need to do the work. That's just the truth. Right? Yes, luck happens, but luck, I believe, will more instrumentally be influenced by preparation. And if you don't have that, that's just you shooting yourself in the leg. Right? Again, I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. Now, interpersonal skills again. I highlighted this previously. These are necessary. You will not be working alone. There's no how you'll be working, except if you are the founder, you are the CTO, you are the CEO, you are the tech, you are the dev, you are the administrative, except if it's your own startup. You would always be working with people. And if I want to recruit somebody to join my team, I want to bring in a professional that will not stress me. Because if you work in tech, you know that your schedule is always chaotic. You have like, let's say, minimum hours of sleep, or God help you, you have a bug that you're trying to fix, right? Just picture this from the side of the recruiter. You would want to bring in a professional. And another thing is, it's how you communicate during your interviews. That's how they can only deduce. You might be an absolutely good person, but the first interaction they had with you was just bad. And then they would use that to conclude about who you are. Guys, it's very, very necessary. Interpersonal skills. So despite technological advancement, soft skills such as what? Communication, teamwork, and problem solving remain highly valued. They're absolutely good. So I know that some persons like to be introverted, right? That's fine. That's absolutely good. But when it comes to the part of your work where you have to derive value for an organization, I'm sorry, but you need to, one way or the other, go out of your comfort zone. It's just for a while. All right. So moving to my next slide. Over reliance on degrees and certifications. Trust me, this is one that affects Africans a lot, right? If let's say you grew up in an educational scenario or an environment, they will tell you that you need to get the certification. If you've gotten this, you need to get PMP, you need to get this, you need to get this, right? There's always so much emphasis on certification. But if I'm being practically honest with you, inside the gist, when you're applying for a tech role, I need you to put a one in the chat, right? If you've applied for tech role and they said they will not accept you unless you show your certification. Trust me, I have an undergraduate degree in structural engineering. I did not read data science. Trust me, data science was not even in existence back then in Nigeria when I went to school. Or it was in existence, but we didn't have that orientation or knowledge about it. And so I didn't go through like an undergrad, I guess like a degree in data science before proceeding to masters and all of that, right? I didn't get that. But then again, we tend to focus on the fact that, oh, I need to write this exam, and get the certification so that it will be on my CV. But we fail to place emphasis on the tools, on the skills that you need to excel at that job. That's very, very important. If you want to get certification, that's fine and good for you, because we pride ourselves in saying, I have this master's in this, I have this certification in this. That's absolutely good. But alongside all of that chaos, I need you to what? Prioritize having knowledge or extensive expertise in the tools you'll be utilizing in your domain. Okay? Next point. Poor CV or LinkedIn format and structure. Guys, if you apply for a role and let's say you, by the grace of God, you passed ATS, and then you meet up to the top 10 people that the recruiter wants to hire. The next thing that they will need to do, they will just get their phone, go to LinkedIn, right, and search for your profile. And then we have people that are absolutely not, that's even worse. If you're currently on this call, right, and then you're not on LinkedIn, as I'm speaking to you or after the call, can't open an account. I know some persons will be like, LinkedIn is just so cringe-worthy. Everybody's talking about announcements, everybody's talking about certification, everybody's talking about they did this. I am happy to announce that. But you know the reason why you are there. You know that you want to be an outlier, that you want to stand out. So You just need to what? Create a structured profile with your own experiences. Have it standard, right? So anybody that wants to look up you, because we are in a very digital environment or digital century, right? People don't know you personally. The only way they can connect to you is via media platforms. So what you need to do, ensure that you have a standard LinkedIn profile. Even if, let's say, you don't know how to, or you don't want to be the person that will be posting frequently, once in a month you can post. And for you to have, because some persons struggle with what to post, for you to have something to post, you need to do the work. You need to, let's say, as a data analyst, oh, I worked on this dashboard, and or in this particular case study, this was a problem that I experienced, that I feel sharing my knowledge on how I implemented a solution will be beneficial to the data community. You don't need to be all out there all the time, because there are some persons that can be absolutely loud, right? But if you're not that kind of person, just have a detailed what? Portfolio on your LinkedIn page. Then the other one, a poor CV. Because tell me why I'll be seeing your, as if you're from Nigeria, you know we do the WAEC and all of that. Why would I be seeing your WAEC certificates in your CV? And you're not trying to get your A levels, or you're not trying to get your undergraduate degree and all of that. Please, I need you to explain to me why I will be seeing your age, right? Or why I'll be seeing extremely weird information that do not relate to the role that you're applying for. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. And trust me, you can see my enthusiasm. It annoys me. Right, because I've had to, when we're recruiting, it's more like a technical side. So I would need to be on the team with the HR professionals. So I would get to see these guys come and talk about what they do. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And some of us, we subconsciously do it too. I need you to have, there's a structured format for you to have your CV. You can look up a template online, right? You don't need your age. You don't need to state outliers or weird scenarios there that would reduce your chances of you getting that job. It's very important. As minute or as minuscule as it is necessary. Then in terms of what? Very poor interviewing skills or lack of focus. Some of us, we don't know that there's something called the STAR approach when you're in an interview. Your situation, your task, your action, and your results. We don't know about that. You need to start learning about it, because if you have crossed over from sending in a job application, then you're now in the interview level. You need to shoot your shot well, because there are lots more persons that did not even get to the interview section, right? If you implemented this, what's the quantity? When? What's the end result? Don't just give an open-ended description. How many? Right? You're a data professional, you're a cyber security analyst, you are a business analyst and all of that, right? What did you do? I don't need you to tell me about how to use Python or how to use Splunk, because I had like a session last week that I had to listen to that. I don't need you to tell me that. I need you to tell me what's the business value you derive from me. Right? All of the rest is completely irrelevant. I just need you to tell me, oh, what did you arrive at? How did it contribute to my own organization long term? I don't need the rest information. So I want you to have this mentality, right? When you're applying for jobs, once you have this insights, you will know that when I'm sending in my application, I would be intentional about not making these errors. Okay, so guys, so far, we'll be wrapping up very soon, but so far, have you obtained value from everything that we have discussed? I need a reaction if you've obtained value from everything that we have discussed so far. I need more responses. So it means I've just been talking, and you're not learning anything. Oh my goodness. And that's what the lighter does, right? So I want us to, where the shoe fits. That's also an African proverb. You know where it's hot. You know where you need to develop strategies. You need to go back and reflect, right? You know that this is I might know, I don't know you. I probably have not met you before. Right? This would be like our very first interaction. But you need to be brutally honest with yourself that, oh, I am accepting the fact that this is where I have issues. right? So I need to proceed and move on to the next level. So this brings me to my next slide. Sometimes we forget that applying for a job is just a single action, just you clicking. There's a process before that, right? The whole process of you trying to eliminate those problems that we earlier mentioned. It's not just about you clicking apply, apply now, right? There is a process, right? There are steps before that. So moving to my next slide. This is just like a rough, let's say, overview of the steps that you could utilize. The very first one would be identify your desired tech career path. And then again, guys, if you're moving for your master's, you would want to, after your 2 years limit, you want to now transition to a skilled worker visa, right? I need you to critically look for a career path that is in demand, that is on ISL's list of sponsorship scenarios. This is insider gist that I need you to do, because I don't want you to go and learn, or if you are currently not in, or if you've not started learning a tech skill and all of that, I don't want you to invest your time and resources whilst you are schooling or whilst you are trying to get everything settled. You're learning a tech skill that is not relevant. That's you shooting yourself in the leg. Inside that, you can just do like a quick search, right, of list of occupations that are on, right, that list. So coming back, select an in-demand emphasis. I would have even highlighted this so it's obvious. Select an in-demand career path that interests you and stick to it. Trust me, emphasis on sticking to it, because when I started learning initially, I started with software engineering. But then because it was, like in engineering, because I had like a lot, like a ton, 99% of the friends I had were guys, and then everybody was a dev. So there was that natural tendency to follow the crowd. And then we started with HTML. I think I was good, but when we got to CSS, I lost it. Right? I was like, I can't do this no more. So in that research, that's how I now found about data science, then decided to stick to data science. And then there are people that would have, let's say, UI UX, or they would have another career path that would be extremely exciting, and they're talking about it, doing like a lot of buzz. But find your path and be intentional about what honing your skills in that path. Do not conform to the pressures of the people around you, so long it's what an in-demand skill. My next point would be what? Learn. This is the mistake that a lot of persons make, right? Do the work before you come and start talking about the fact that you're not getting jobs. Educate yourself, learn, right? Try to read. That is absolutely necessary. The tools that will be required in your own organization, in your career path, settle down and learn, because once that knowledge resides inside of you, I can't come and say, let's say Tom or Kletos or Muhammad, right? I'll come and say, I want to take the knowledge that you've gathered, the skill set that you have, and put it for myself. No, settle down and learn. That's very, very, very what? Necessary. The next one would be in terms of what? Gain project-based experience. Guys, this is absolutely necessary, right? Because when you're coming to, sorry, my light is fluctuating, but when you're coming to an organization, or you are in like an interview process, right? I would not want to, I want to know that you need, or you know how to use a tool. No, I want to know a project that you worked on, that you contributed, right? And then I would want to know the deliverables that you achieved. That's why it's nice to learn how to use all these tools, to keep learning and learning and learning. But the fastest approach to getting like a certain level of industry experience is you working strictly on projects. I cannot overemphasize the fact, because you'd have a problem statement. You need to develop strategies that you would use to solve that problem. You need to collaborate. You need to do your research that, oh, okay, I tried this method, it didn't work, right? I have to look up another method or ask questions and all of that. So in that process, you would become drilled and you would learn. Trust me, working on projects directly, even sometimes when there's like a new tool released, right? Because in the AI industry, we can't rest, right? You can wake up tomorrow and then there's something new. I would just look for a project because there'll be somebody on YouTube that would rush to post a video, right? On, let's say, working on a problem and all of that. So that's faster for me. I'll just go and watch and implement, and I'll get like a clearer picture of what's done. Now, coming to my next slide, again, all of these resources will be communicated to you. You just need to fill the attendance form that was sent to the chat, and you'll be good to go. So this will be what, in terms of gaining employability skills, this is very necessary when you cross to the interviewing stage. You need to be able to win the team, right? So even if for us tech people, you'd have to do the technical side, right? Technical test, and then you need to do the employability side where they just call you to ask you questions and then you speak and all of that. And then sometimes we tend to place so much focus on the technical side, but please, it's necessary. Develop employability skills. As I mentioned before, have a LinkedIn portfolio, right? Have your CV tailored strategically so that when you apply for a job, ATS doesn't bounce you back 5 minutes, right? Because it's an automated system. They just check if, oh, keywords in this CV, do they match the keywords in job description, right? So if you've been wondering why you just apply for a job and then 2 minutes later, they're sending you rejection letter, that's just the process. It's nothing so out of this world, right? It's because you're not the person that they are looking for, or you are the person, you did not tailor your own CV to that. Then we have, in terms of what? Networking, right? You cannot build alone. Learn to leverage communities, trust me, especially if you are moving to like a new environment, right? You will move faster because these guys have gone ahead of you. They would give you insider gist that, my dear, don't do this, right? Follow this strategy, it would work. Or whilst you are doing this, right? But you need to, based off your long-term goal, you need to strategically criticize what's being done so you're not just moving with the entire crowd. All right, then finally we have mentorship. Seek mentorship. And I always say this, you don't really need to meet, let's say, meet the person like one-on-one. There's scenarios, they are diverse. There are some persons that I follow online, right? I just look at their processes. And then there are some persons that would message that, oh, okay, what do you think about this? I'm trying to implement this. Can you give me insights on this? Not that you expect the person to just come and be following you, and you on your end, you're not doing the work. Because I mentioned, put in the work first of all. Let's stop all of this emotional garbage that, oh, okay, I did this, and then people will be telling you, oh, keep it up. You would get it. But you know deep down that the amount of work that is required to get what you want, you're not putting it in. All right, so now moving to my next slide, right? So far, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we excited? Have we learned something absolutely valuable? I need responses. We are like over 100 on this call, and it is absolutely nice meeting everybody here. Trust me, this is the amazing thing about being in like a live masterclass session. I get to interact with persons from diverse locations and all of that. So coming back to my slide, the big question that I know that some persons will be asking in terms of, you have learned a foundational skill, or before I even proceed, I want to say in the chat, what current tech skill are you interested in or have you learned? What current tech skill have you learned? So for myself, I am a data scientist. I am not, oh, okay. I can see Anthony says data analytics. I need more responses. Guys, what current tech skill have you learned? I can see cybersecurity, data analytics, project management / business analysis. Oh, that's cool. I need more responses. Data analytics. That's a lot of data analytics. What's happening? There's no data science on this call. Oh my goodness. But now coming back to my slides, I can see data engineering and data analytics, cloud computing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. UI UX. Oh, that's nice. Computer science. Computer science. What domain of computer science, right? Computer science is absolutely broad. Oh, I can see a stock analyst. That's interesting. All right, so coming back to my slides now. This is me giving you an insider gist of where you can get an all-in-one solution to the problems that we listed previously, right? So recall I mentioned, you have learned the skill. You have learned, even if you're not absolutely extremely good at that particular tech career path, but you have a baseline, or will I say foundational knowledge. Now, the key question is, where can I get an all-in-one solution to the other problems that were mentioned. So in terms of what I believe I listed them out clearly, your experience, your employability, and all of that. Right. So guys, follow me closely. And another painful thing is you just learned a role, right? You know, you just learned data analytics, but you're seeing job descriptions that employers are requiring you to have experience. And then sometimes I'm like, where exactly are we supposed to, or where exactly are these enthusiasts that are just getting into the tech industry? Where are they supposed to get this relevant work experience? Guys, follow me closely. This is where the remote apprenticeship virtual experience program that Amdari offers comes into play. So I'm just going to give us a brief overview of what Amdari offers, and then we'll have a question answer session and we'll call it a day. This session is meant to be just 1 hour, 30 minutes max, and we will be done because today is like a Saturday. That's a weekend, and it's very important for tech people to rest, even if you cannot rest. But coming back to my slides, the remote apprenticeship virtual experience program that Amdari offers, and I know it's a mouthful, but you can just call it RAVE. It's the only platform right now that guarantees you work experience. Now, follow me closely. There's a simple approach that the Amdari team uses that I'm particularly intrigued, right? Now, it's a simple formula. Your technical skills and experience plus your employability skills would land you that job offer. It's not rocket science. You know, I started off with building context. One, understand the problem that you're trying to solve. The next step is, oh, okay, what is the next line of action? What strategies can I implement to ensure that moving forward, I'm not in a continuous cycle of repetitive mistakes, right? So this is a structure that the Amdari community follows. Your technical skills and experience plus the employability side, right? And you would land that job offer. Now, the question is, how does Amdari do this, right? Listing out all of the research facts that we had to establish, but now they're telling us that there's a solution to the problem, like an all-in-one solution. I need you to follow me closely. Now, there's a structure that the team works with. So we have business partners across Africa, Europe, US, and Canada. And then we get problems that they are facing in their everyday interactions, in their everyday businesses. And what we do is we take those problems and we give them to the professionals that are working with us at Amdari, right? That's our interns. We call this is the remote apprenticeship virtual experience program. So you as an intern with us at Amdari, you get to work on this project. You get to communicate with people. You don't have a choice, right? You have to communicate. You have to collaborate on strategies that you would use to solve this business problem. And you will need to have a presentation. So now, guys, you're getting this project, we would have to include a certain level of anonymity so you don't go to the particular organization and then you spill the beans or something like that, right? But we get this project and then we bring them to you. You get to work on them and you have that technical exposure. In the process of all of this, you're getting work experience. That's one. And then you're building your soft skills in terms of your interpersonal skills, communication, collaboration, teamwork, adaptability. And the plus is you can add these projects that you work on to your portfolio. There are some persons that are like, oh, I don't know what to post. I don't have anything on LinkedIn. I don't really know what to talk about. This gives you what? This gives you that leverage. The strategies that you collaborated with your team members to work on, right? The hidden techniques that you had to research, spend hours trying to get, that can be your own view, and to position you as a thought leader that, oh, whilst I was working on this project, you don't need to explicitly state or give too much details because you would sign a contract and then there are data privacy rights, right? You can just give a brief anonymized overview of this is what I'm implementing. And I believe it would help professionals moving forward or when they get to face this kind of issues. And then you get to add it to your CV. And during your interview sessions, you can talk about this experience because when you're speaking from a place of knowledge or a place of action, right? It's absolutely easy. It flows because you know you worked on that project. You know you went through stress trying to meet up with the deliverable, and you were able to tender in a solution. Guys, the simple approach, the technical skills and experience, plus what the employability side lands you that job offer. So now I've spoken about the technical side, that's where the project-based experience. I'm moving to the employability side of what Amdari offers. Now we have what? Your CV revamp sessions, your CV review and revamp sessions. So we have employability and professionals here that would meet with you and have like a conversation with you as regards, oh, what is currently wrong with your CV and what strategies or what keywords do you need to implement to stand out as a thought leader or when you're applying for specific roles. Then we have the LinkedIn optimization session. This is absolutely necessary. Again, if you're on this call and you don't have a LinkedIn profile, excuse me, I need you to create one. Just put your picture there and put what you do, right? Because there are some persons that even their family members do not know that they are data analysts or data engineers. No, you want to get a job in that domain. So there needs to be evidence. Again, it's not rocket science, it's just facts, right? That you need to look at and determine strategies to what? To move forward. The next would be in terms of navigating the job market. Yes, we have sessions as regards, oh, based off your demography, how can you effectively, you're looking for jobs that would give you certificate of sponsorship. So you need to be extremely strategic about it and being realistic with you, right? There are other techniques that you need to utilize, right? And then the advantage we have as tech professionals, you know, like the average amount for like your remuneration should be, I believe that was averaging around 38K to 35 the last time for you to be considered for a sponsorship, right? So those are techniques that you would learn, right? Or strategies that you would communicate with persons that have done this, and you will get insights on how to proceed. So we have what we call the interview preparation session. Now you've optimized your CV, your LinkedIn, you've applied for jobs, and you get called in for an interview session. So we would have a very thorough session to drill you because you want to get that job. And before we push you out, we need to ensure that when there are random questions that would come up during your interview session, you can absolutely what? Deliver. That's very, very necessary. You would need to think on the spot in-house, first of all, before you proceed, right, to your interview session. Then we give what they call a job reference letter. Trust me, this is very, very important, right? You know that when you're applying for jobs, you need to include that aspect of a reference. And then the fact that you're getting an international work reference letter from Amdari gives you an edge. Trust me, because why? You are employed with us as a professional. Now, moving to my next slide, we have the on-the-job support. Let's say you've gotten into that role and then you're having issues with a particular approach or you're having issues with implementation. You can always reach out to the mentor for support. Then we have the weekly mentorship sessions. Trust me, this one is absolutely important. Right, we get persons that have been through this process. They would come to speak to you as regards, oh, okay, this is what I did. This is what I think you should do. This is what I think that you should not do. And in that process, you would also get to learn. Now, moving to the last point would be the tools you can leverage, right? So nowadays, we know that AI is making life easier for us. So in your specific domain, what tools can ease your learning, right? Ease your transitioning to getting that role. Again, it was necessary for me to establish context that there's a real reason why you are struggling, and you just need to find it and devise strategies and launch, right? So moving to my next slide, there's something that Amdari also offers. Now, I would have a demo of that on my slides, but naturally, you know, you have to go to LinkedIn, Upwork, Glassdoor, Indeed, and all of that to get to apply for jobs. But Amdari has a segment of their platform that consolidates all of these jobs into one single platform that you can apply. Now, guys, follow me closely. Technical skills and experience plus what? Employability is what will get you that job offer. I'm moving to my next slide. Amdari also gives you a portfolio. Guys, remember when my slide that mentioned where can you get an all-in-one solution to the problems that we listed out? So you get to have a portfolio dedicated to yourself that you can share with recruiters, right? People want to see a track record or a repo. If it's your, you can import projects from your Git or like from other like scenarios whereby you deposit or like where you've stored your project over the years, and then you can have a single portfolio. And guys, you don't really need to call a dev team, right, to do this for you. The interesting thing is you just need to fill a form for this and you'll be good to go. I'll have a demo of this so we see how this works, right? So this is my own portfolio. So moving to the next slide, it's just like a simple process, right? Your project-based experience plus the employability side is what will get you that job offer. It's not out of this world. It's just a simple approach that if you diligently follow, you would get the results. Now, you get to work on real world projects, you would get to collaborate with people, you would get to be stretched out of your comfort zone because you need that experience. And being practically honest with you, you can't just be, the job market is competitive. You can't just be like every other person that is out there trying to get a job, right? So what makes you absolutely different from the rest? It's in terms of your experience, it's in terms of what you offer, right? The entire package of you as an individual, irrespective of your tech career. Now, the employability side is you get what? Your CV revamp sessions, you get your LinkedIn sessions, your mentorship sessions, your career coaching sessions, interview sessions, job reference, and on the job support. So give me a moment. Let me share this tab that has my portfolio and then the job offer. Right. So I believe we can see this. I believe we can see this now. Let me just click on my portfolio website and then just give you an overview of my own portfolio. Right. So okay, I think I stopped sharing that time. Let me share. So this is me, and then this is my years of experience. This is I'm a data scientist, and I recall I mentioned that right now I am making AI less complicated. That's my goal. So if you check me out on LinkedIn, I post information as regards complex terms that will be things that are absolutely difficult, right? But you just need a baseline understanding. Then my project, my specializations, the tools I use, my skills, my experience, and all of that, guys. You get access to a portfolio that you can just share with a recruiter and you'll be good to go. And aside that, we have a job board on the Amdari platform. So instead of you having to go through each of these individual sites to apply for a job, you can just come here, click on a job, enter the location and the job title. And guys, you don't just click on apply now. No, it doesn't work that way. There are AI tools that can extract keywords from the job description, and then you can place them in your CV and apply. Again, you have to pass ATS system. That's your first leg into the organization, right? So you need to be very, very strategic. And I know some persons will complain about, oh, do I have to tweak my CV all the time, all the time, all the time? There are tools that will do that for you in like 10 minutes tops or less than that, right? Because you've done it consistently, so you're accustomed to that. And you can make the application. Okay, so now an overview of the projects that you'll be working on. There's a very interesting project that the business analysts are working on, right? So let me just share that first of all before I give like a rough overview of the rave experience. Let me just share. Okay, that would be the business analyst. And let me come to, because we use the Google Classroom for the project-based experience. Now, these are the sessions that they've been having with their project team lead and their stakeholders. But I want us to just have an overview of the documents. Awesome. Now, this is a project for an organization called Hyacinth, and these guys, they are working with, as the business analysts that we currently have with us, they are working with the UI UX and then the dev team to ensure that this project is delivered. We can see they are an AI recruitment platform that are designed to bridge the gap between this. The platform utilizes this, and then there's a business problem. Okay, Then we have the user personnel, so that when the business analysts are going to, in terms of the MVPs that they would need, right? Because nowadays we don't really, nobody works with the waterfall methodology. Everybody's agile, right, on the spot. So they will need to come up with MVPs for this, right? For the user personnel, and that's for the recruitment personnel, and then for the job seeker persona. And they would have to collaborate with teams, right? You can see there's a detailed guideline, right? Because we know that you might not really have had this experience before. So we would give you like a defined scope that you can work with. And then you get to what? We also give you like a timeline. So for your next project, you will now be the one to give us a full-blown detailed breakdown of, oh, you've done your research, you've done all of this, these are the MVPs, right? This is the timeline that is suitable, that would work for this project, that would have to communicate with the team members, the developers, and all of that. And you get to create the project charter, because once in a while I hop on their sessions and then I see their BRDs and I see their wireframes and how they are communicating with the developers. In all of this process, guys, you are getting a project-based experience and you'll be working on projects, emphasis on projects. So I'm just going to come to the Diary platform. So I'll give you an overview. We take questions and we will be done for the day. So I need a reaction. Have you been following me so far? I need to know that you have been following me so far. Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? Are you good? Are you good to go? Are you absolutely good to go? I need responses. Guys, are we on this call? Or should I use the can you hear me trick? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Are you sure you can hear me? Am I audible? Most times on the call, right? So you're having a meeting with your team members, you strategically do that. So awesome. I'm loving our responses so far. So coming back to the Diary platform, you can see the only platform that guarantees you real world experience, because trust me, that's why the entire team at Diary, we are extremely passionate about this, because there's an obvious gap in terms of what skill level. What you need to do is what I don't know how I would overemphasize this. You know what is wrong. The next line of action is just taking your necessary steps. You have to be patient. It doesn't just happen overnight. You actually need to learn, right? It's not, I've consistently been saying, it's not magic, it's not rocket science. You just need to implement the strategies that are necessary, right? That would push you or skew you in the right direction. So coming to Rave by Diary, that's the Remote Apprenticeship Virtual Experience Program. I know it's a mouthful. That's why it's shortened to Rave, so you don't have to bite your tongue, right? So you get to work on real world projects and you develop your technical and soft skills. So when I click on register now, all you need to do, you can just go to Google and search for Diary, and you can have an overview of the projects that are there and what Diary offers. Again, for you to be at Diary, it means that you have learned, you've gotten either from YouTube videos, from taking a training course, you have learned data analytics, data science, cybersecurity, business analysis, or project management. You've learned it. What is left is the fact that you need experience, right? So at Diary, you're not coming to learn from scratch on, oh, okay, this is what this means, right? Even if your mentors will be there to guide you, we're not training you on from scratch. No. The goal is to get a job. The goal is the fact that you've had this foundational understanding somewhere else, but you need to get what? Exposure, technical expertise that would land that job role for you. So I'm just going to scroll down, and this is just an overview of the current programs that we offer, right? So coming back to my slide, let me just share my screen for this slide, and we would be good to go, because I wanted to give us an overview of what Diary offers, so we'd see the platform and we can check that out ourselves, right? So let me just come back here, and yeah, so let's say for cybersecurity, first of all, let me see the tab I'm currently sharing. Oh, apologies. For cybersecurity, first of all, I click on apply now, so I can see an overview of what you'll be working on. Again, you're not coming to learn from scratch. No. You are absolutely coming to work on projects. So I'm just going to Go back and then let's look at another. Let's say data analytics. Let's see data analytics. Yeah, apply now. And then I'm going to scroll down. And the interesting thing is when you are employed or when you sign your contract, you don't get to be called an intern, right? You are a data analytics consultant employed with us at Amdari. And you get the liberty of having your internship spanning 3 to 6 months. Again, guys, this is a project-based experience. This is the value, the all-in-one solution that Amdari is offering. Trust me, you'll be stretched for good, right? You would absolutely be stretched for good. So I'm just going to share my tab and proceed with my slides. Recall I mentioned we are wrapping up and we would be good to go. So just give me a moment. I don't know why this is acting up, but yeah, we will be good to go. Give me a moment. Okay, yeah, I believe I'm good. I'm absolutely good to go. This was where we left off. So now, guys, we are having a cohort that is starting on the 8th of March slash 12th of April. So what we do is we take in interns, we take in professionals that have learned the foundational basics of a couple of specific career paths, because so we don't have like, we have like a timeline or a specific number of persons that can work with us for every month and for like certain career paths. So during that process, you would get to work on projects, you would get to have your employability or mentorship sessions, you would get to be stretched, and you will get to learn. You absolutely have no choice. And for this, for all of the value that we'll be offering here at Amdari, it comes at a price. For our course that is starting, we have specific programs that we are offering this for. That's for data analytics, data science, data engineering, and business analysis. For this career path, we are running the 3 month internship and the 6 months experience. Okay, so during this period, you get access to your one-on-one CV session, your LinkedIn optimization session, access to the remote job board, access to the online portfolio builder, you get access to an international work reference letter, you get access to the employability sessions, and you get access to the career coaching sessions. So for data analytics, data science, data engineering, business analysis, you get to do this for 3 months and also 6 months. But specifically for cybersecurity, in terms of you wanting to gain experience as a SOC analyst in terms of penetration testing and ethical hacker, or you want to be like in GRC, right? We are running this for 3 months. Because I mentioned we have specific programs that we take in every month, right, for you to, because of the value that we are offering and then the projects that you'll be working on, right? So we can effectively communicate with you and then know your current knowledge and how we can help you. Now, coming back, we are currently running a discount because this is us preparing towards the course that is starting in March, right? We took in guys from February and then they are doing absolutely well. Now, we are running a discount for the first 20 persons, and that is for $300. For the 6 month internship, we are running that for $500, right? But now, the interesting thing is, Amdari gives you the offer because we know that people really need this. We absolutely understand that there's a skill gap that people want to face. So we give you the opportunity to pay installmentally, right? So I need you to, let me just share that tab and we would be good to go. So you can make payments. All right, so coming to this tab, when you click on this link that we can see clearly on my screen, it takes you to, let me just click on it, and then it takes me to this page. So when I come to this page, I can just scroll down. If you want to chat with us, you want to get an overview of what your current status is, or strategies or hidden insights that you can utilize, or what you think, or you just need professional guidance on what the next line of action would be, right? You can chat with us. Then if you want to sign up for any of our experience program, what you just need to do is click on secure internship. All right, then it takes you to this site. So this is coming up, and then you get to make payment. So let me just, yeah. So it takes you to this site. And the thing is, you have the liberty to pay instrumentally, right? Because recall I mentioned, we know the value that Amdari is offering. We know that it is extremely crucial, right, in this age, because there's that gap in industry experience. We know that's why Amdari is like, and trust me, it's a very, very intensive and all-inclusive program, right? So you have the liberty to pay instrumentally during the duration of your time as a data analytics consultant with us here at Amdari. And we are running this discount currently for the very first 20 persons that will be hopping on with us during this internship experience. And when we are done, we are closing this out. All right. So now I want to ask, are we interested in Amdari, or rather the right word would be, are we excited about what Amdari has to offer? Are we excited about what Amdari has to offer? Are we good? Are we good? Are we good? Are we excited about what Amdari has to offer? Right, before I take questions, I just have somebody on the call that wants to speak about his current experience with the, I believe that would be cybersecurity team. He is currently like a consultant that is enrolled in cybersecurity internship, and that would be Temitope Adeoba. So do we have Temitope on the call? Sorry, I take you and then I take questions and we would wrap it up. Again, guys, you need to just fill the attendance form, and you get emailed the slides and the recording for this session. So let me take Comfort's question. So we have reached the maximum persons that we are taking for project management, right? If you notice that, let me share this tab. For the last, right, we had a project management call, but recall I mentioned this is a very intensive program. So we need to have specific set of persons so we can effectively tailor our resources, right, to them. So currently we are not taking project management consultants. No. Because we want to ensure that during your time with Amdari, right, you are getting the required resources needed for you to thrive. All right. So, but it decides the amount is £10 and it's not $300. So let me just go back to this site so we what's it called? So we see that demo. Let me share this tab. So we see that demo and it will be good to go. But yeah, do we have Temitope Adeoba on the call? Do we have Temitope Adeoba on the call? Right, so let me share. I believe this is what somebody on the call was trying to seek clarity. So what you need to do, right, irrespective of your demography, right, or the current payment scenario that you're using, you just have to click on the particular payment structure and you would be good to go. So right now we'd have to do a research, right, for the current analysis of project management consultants that we have. Then we would communicate with you as regards if we will be taking it. But for now, no. We are not taking project management consultant, just business analysts, data analysts, data scientists, data engineers, and these different domains of cybersecurity. So you can learn and be immersive in your program. So I don't know, is Divine on the call? Do we have Temitope Adeoba on the call that wants to speak up? If not, I believe I'll just be taking questions. Right, because I mentioned this discount is lasting for that's pending when we would onboard the March consultant, and it is for just the first 20 persons. All right, so I will be taking questions right now and we will be calling it a day. Now, for 3 months, you would average 5 projects because, again, this is very, very intensive. You would get to, there's scenarios you would exceed 5 projects. Well, the thing is, it depends on the intensity of the projects that you are working on. There's a particular project that the current project that the BAs are working on, the timeline for the deliverable is 3 months. So they would start from I believe right now they've gotten their BRD document and project charter. I believe they've communicated that to the developer team. So you are starting from the beginning. So there are some projects that would take you 3 weeks. Let's say for the cybersecurity guys, I know they had like a ransomware attack scenario, but I'm not really a cybersecurity analyst, right? I am a data scientist. But when I hopped onto their session, that project lasted for like 3 weeks and they are in another. So they had to provide like I believe there's something called a training manual or a report on how the team members for that organization can ensure that that same attack doesn't happen again. Because what I have learned from these guys is 90% of the errors that happen are caused by humans, absolutely by humans. So this is like an immersive process. All right, so how many members are in a team? Now, Olalekan, this is dependent on the project that you're working on. All right, so for this, for the new guys that we are having, there's a project that they are working on that they would have to, there's a recommendation system, and they would need the data scientists on that team. They will need a data scientist on that team. And then they need somebody to transfer the data from on-premise to a cloud platform. So the business analyst will be responsible for getting, the goal of this organization or the end product that we are building, what are the detailed requirements, right? That's what they call their minimum viable product, because it's an agile scenario. They don't want to wait to build the entire project from scratch. Trust me, nobody does that again, right? You have to run at a pace that, it's like an as you go scenario. Let's have the important features first of all, and then we improve. Then I can see how many installments is allowed. So I'm just going to share this tab once again, right? So it depends for the 3 months and then for the 6 months. So for the 3 months, you have the 3 instrumental payment scenario. And then for the 2 months scenario, that's a 2-month instrumental payment, you get to pay $150 twice, and you have like a single one-time payment. All right, so guys, I need more questions. We would be calling it a day in a couple of minutes, but I want to emphasize that you just need to fill the attendance form, right? All of the resources that you need will be communicated to you. So Ola Tunde Koka is asking me, is data analysis a relevant career path? To answer that question, let me find the future of report jobs. Let me see if I can get that document. This is something that is done yearly by the World Economic Forum, whereby they do like a reset for the next timeline on particular, on particular jobs that would be in demand. So let me see if I can get that document quickly so you can have an overview. All right, so let me see if I can get that document quickly. Now, this is, again, I'm always of the emphasis that we need to develop the habit of just doing research, right? So this is the future of jobs report that's done by the World Economic Forum, right? They publish this every year. I believe this was published on the 7th of January, if I can recall. So you just need to read. That's why I'm of the emphasis that when your long-term goal is to get sponsorship, you need to be strategic about roles or about jobs that would be in demand. So what can we see? Data engineering, data scientists, and analysts. We can see cybersecurity, we can see business analysts, and then there are lots more. So you can go over this information. So this just means that these jobs would be in demand, right? And then the other aspect means that they would decline, right? So you can just search for the future of jobs report, or I could look up the link and then send it to you, right? The goal is for you to be in an in-demand tech career path and get what experience. So yeah, it would be in demand because this is a report that is done by the World Economic Forum. So it's not that, yes, we did an internal report ourselves, right? And then we synchronized or we validated it with this report, but you need to know that this would be in demand. Okay, so let me just come back here to share this. I hope that has answered that question. If I'm unable to join the March 8 cohort, what other time is available? Now, we have this for the 8th of April, the 8th of March rather, and the 12th of April. So I don't miss anybody's question, right? So Ogunle is asking when will the project management internship commence? So we'd have to deliberate with our business partners as regards projects that, because for we to bring you on board, right, you will need to be delivering value. You need to have that hands-on experience. And right now, for the project management, we reach the maximum number of people that we can take for that project. So we would need to communicate and deliberate with the other members of the team, and we would put that information out there in our masterclass sessions that this program would be commencing. But right now, we are currently not taking interns for the project management program. Right, so let me see. If I wish to inquire if Abdari also helps DevOps engineering get a job. So right now, no, we're not taking for DevOps. No. Right. So we would have another course as regards the engineering side, but these are the specific programs that we would be taking. So let me see. If I'm unable to join in on the 8th of March, the other timeline would be the 12th of April. All right. Can I extend to 6 months if I enroll for 3 months? You just have to communicate with finance and then the admin team. So yes, you have the liberty to do that. Let me just read up other questions. And if we also want to use the hand icon, but I think that as we are sending this to the chat, I can be taking our questions and we would be good to go. Now, the next question would be, are we going to be grouped into teams while working on a project? Yes, recall I mentioned that this is on specific scenarios. The structure I stated out is the fact that we are taking this project from our partners, and then we are putting you in teams and you are collaborating during your sessions, right? The essence of the team is for you to develop your interpersonal skills. That's necessary. Your communication, your collaboration, and all of that, right? You need to develop that during your time with us at Amdari. So yes, there are projects whereby you'd have to work alone, okay? But there are projects whereby, trust me, you cannot work alone on that project because it's an all-in massive scenario whereby you would need to have persons that are responsible for, let's say, a particular arm, right? Let's say there's somebody that will be responsible for the initial, from my own sector now, exploratory data analysis, and then we'll have somebody that is responsible for doing like a full-blown research on the particular model, right? On the particular model that would be suitable for like the case study that you're working on, right? So you would need to work as a team, and then you have a fixed timeline, right? You have a fixed timeline that you're working with that you need to deliver and present. So you would have to work with a team. You would have to collaborate. You don't have a choice, actually. Can this be combined with a full-time job? Absolutely. Now we have guys. I wish I could share that information with you, but we have guys mostly from Ireland, the UK. We have some persons from Spain, we have from Cameroon, we have from Nigeria also, and then we have from USA. Okay, so you would get to, according to your contract, so when you sign up with us, we would send you your contract documents that you would be employed with us as a data analytics or data engineering consultant, and you are mandated to dedicate 2 to 4 hours daily. So you don't need to, yes, it's a remote experience program. We understand that. If you're being honest, normally when you're transitioning, you would have like your normal job, and whilst you are gaining skills in the other sector. We absolutely understand that. So that's why we are making this very, very flexible, irrespective of your time zone. So what we do is, during your very first session with us, you would speak to your mentor and your team members. All of you will decide on a timeline that would be suitable for your mentor specific sessions. Right, so in those sessions, that's where you come to talk about the projects that you are working on, talk about, oh, did you experience any challenge? And if they can, based off their own experiences or project they've worked on, give you key feedback that would make your process seamless. Then I hope that answers that question. Olalekan is saying, I want to have experience in both data analytics and data engineering. Do you have an arrangement for someone like me? Now, Olalekan, this is a very dicey scenario. It depends on your personal schedule because we have somebody currently running data analytics and business analysis. Can you combine both of these projects? Can you combine both of these scenarios, right, with your current work schedule? Can you do that? Are you sure you can do that? So if that's possible, right, you can proceed. Else, we can have a one-on-one discussion to decide that, oh, okay, this is the next line of action, right? So you can reach out to any member of our team, right? You know, when I shared this site, let me just share it again. You have the liberty to chat with us, right? You have the liberty to chat with us. Then we'll have a discussion as regards, oh, what's the next line of action? Is that arrangement feasible? Note, if you're currently working and you want to combine data analytics and data engineering, right, I really would not advise that, but it's based off your own schedule. If your current work doesn't require an intensive, what's it called, dedication, right, you can do that. But else, we would need to have an in-depth conversation about that, and yeah, we would be good to go. So I am just going to check out our questions and all of that. Is it advisable to belong to a professional body? Now it depends actually. Which of the programs are you working for, or are you looking towards? Which of the program, if you could send it to the chat, if I'm subscribing for the 6-month program, how many projects will be involved? Trust me. And I laugh when I see a certain level of enthusiasm. There are scenarios whereby you'll be like, this is a lot, right? I need like, some teams would request for extension of their projects, right? Because of the intensity. So averagely, it's like, I mentioned for the 3 months, it's 5, right? So for the 6 months, it's 6 to 8, and then 10 projects, right? So it depends on the scope of the project. Let me be very, very frank with you. There are projects that would take you a month, right? For the data engineering guys, there's this project where they have to move from an on-premise database. I think it was like a Postgres server or something, and then they're moving to cloud and all of that. So it is stretching them, right? So you would have to research, you would have to look up resources. Yes, your mentor will be there to guide you and give you resources and guidelines that you can utilize to aid your process, but it is on a project-based scenario, right? It's a timeline for your project. So now the goal is at the end of your timing with us, you would get to be stretched. You would get to have that experience across diverse industries that you can utilize to be a professional. So I believe I was answering Equal's question, right? What domain are you in? So Benjamin is asking, is there any assurance after the experience with you that one can secure a good job? So now, let me place emphasis on the fact that we are providing you with what? We are providing you with the project-based experience, 1. We're providing you with the employability sessions, 2. We provide you with checkups that, oh, you have a job tracker. How many jobs have you applied to, right? So on our end, we are giving you those resources, but we need you to apply for the job, right? We will not be the one from our end to help you apply for the job. No, we would assist you with all of the resources you need, right? But you would be the one. So the job board is there. That's the amazing thing. You don't need to go to different scenarios and then start following up certain alerts. No, you just need to follow the guidelines that we've given you, right? Tailor your resources and tailor your CV specifically, and you would be good to go. So do we have more questions? Hello, do you offer scholarship for people who cannot afford the amount for the internship experience? Right now, we do not. The funny thing is, when Amdari started, that was a strategy that we utilized, and then we placed persons physically with organizations. But then we noticed that a lot more persons are restricted. Like we were not given, or we were streamlined to particular persons based off the amount of what's it called? An organization can come and tell us that, oh, we need just 5 or just 2%. So that was really limiting the experience that we were giving to a lot more people, right? So that's why we now have the remote virtual experience where you just come with us. We anonymize the projects that you'll be working on from our business partners so we don't breach their privacy issues. And then you get to work on those projects and you have a presentation with an external stakeholder that would validate what you have done. So Abimbola Ade Dotun, we would need to send out a communication as regards when the project management course will be starting. But right now, no. We are very, very intentional about what we do, and we currently do not take, or we are not taking interns for the project management cohort. So this discount is currently running for the first 20 persons, and that will be it. We are starting this cohort on the 8th of March, and we have another one coming up on the 12th of April. So do we have more questions? More questions. We'll be wrapping up very soon, right? I saw some persons having issues with making payments. Excuse me, I will just have to share that process again. Just give me a moment. Let me share that process again, and you would be good to go. So now when I click on this link, right, it automatically takes me to this site. Now, so all I need to do is, let's say for data analytics 6 months experience, I'm going to click on secure internship, right? So this is still loading up. When I click on secure internship, it takes me to this particular site, and I am just going to share this tab instead. And here you get to choose the payment plan that works for you. The interesting thing is we are flexible with your payment. So we understand that these persons that are trying to transition, right, they have their daily life schedule, they have bills. The reason why you want to transition is because you need a better life or a better role. So you get the liberty for the 3-month internship or for the 6-month internship. You get the liberty to pay instrumentally, and then you can also make a one-time payment if that is an investment that is absolutely suitable for you, right? So please, is there evidence of having worked with you in terms of certificate? Absolutely, right? And then you also get your work reference. Trust me, you know that the work reference letter is very, very important, right? So if you've joined in from our previous session, there was an intern that came to speak about how he needed one immediately, right, for his master's degree, and then he got one from Amdari, and you're getting an international work reference letter, right? So that's like an added plus to your profile. All right, so do we have more questions? I want to ensure that everybody is in sync with what we offer at Amdari, and we would call it a day. But the very first thing is, did we get value from this session? Did we get value from this session? Did we get value from this session? I need a response. Are we interested? Are we excited about joining Amdari? Are we excited about joining Amdari? Are we good? 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 Are we good to go? We'll be wrapping up right about now. And again, you can always reach out to us for, if you want to, let's say, get feedback or get directions. Recall I mentioned at the beginning of this session, we are revolutionizing the way Africans acquire experience, because we've noticed that there's a gap. And all you need to do is to close that gap to get absolutely professional and technically competent. That's very, very important. It's not magic. It's not out of this world. There's just something that is missing that you need to close up, that you need to get exposure on, so that you will be good to go. And that's why I really started off with stating facts, so you understand that there's a reason why, and you need to start implementing strategies or steps to get a probable or a good solution. Okay, so guys, we'll be ending it here, right? If you have questions, I need you to send it in the chat right about now. So it was awesome having to speak with you on the call. And for you to still be on this call by this time, it means that you are literally intentional about your own growth, about the next level that you will be entering in your own life. So we will be ending the call right about now. I'll just give like a couple of meanings for persons that have not filled the attendance form, or persons rather that want to make payments need to that would need time to do that. And there's also another scenario of you want to speak with us on a one-on-one basis. We have something called a clarity session that you can book with us, and then we'll have a call with you. All right. So again, once again, I believe a colleague of mine will be sending the attendance to the chat, and you'll be able to fill it. Then Equale Hakim is asking, I asked you specifically, what domain are you interested in? If it's for the project management guys, I know there's a PMP certification rather that is crucial, right, in your own industry. But you also need the terms of technical experience. I think you didn't respond to that question, right? Project exactly. So long term, you getting your PMP certification would actually give you like an exposure on an international level, because that's like a worldly recognized certification. But you need to first start off with getting that experience. You know, during my slides, I mentioned do not go with the frenzy of certification, certification, certification. You need to learn to do the work. You need to learn to do the work. That's extremely important. All right. So Demi is saying, I want to start with the April 12th quote. Would I still have access to the discount? Okay, so we are taking the first 20 persons for discount. So I think what you can do is you can make your instrumental payments as the very first one, and then you would mention that you are resuming, or you send us a mail that you are starting with the April quote, because I cannot promise that we will be having these discounts in April, because this is for the 8th of March and the 12th of April. So it's possible that in the couple of sessions that we'll be having next, the first 20 persons rather would have been exceeded. So what you can do right now is to lock in the discount, and then you send a mail that it's when I want to resume, or you send us an official email that, oh, I have made payments to secure my discount, but I would want to start off officially because of my current work schedule and all. I want to start off in April. So it is now when you officially resume, you will now begin to have your instrumental payments. All right. So the link has been sent to the chat for you to make payments. You can just have an overview of the different categories for installments, and ensure that you fill the attendance form so you can get access to the slides and resources for this session. Again, I want you to, all of those links I shared to the reports, I want you to just have an overview, right? Even if you might not have the patience to read them, I want you to have an overview and see the insights that you can derive from there, and then know the strategies that you can utilize for your own life. So we'll be calling it a day right about now, right? I always am so happy when I get to speak with persons, and then I get to deliver value and give insight. So cheers. I'll just give a couple of minutes for those that want to make payments, or those that want to fill the attendance form to do so. And you can get to speak with us on a one-on-one basis via a Calendly link that will be sent to the chat. Okay, so you can book a session, and then would have like a detailed discussion as regards what's your previous background, what have you done, what can we do to help you get that role that you are looking towards. All right, so cheers, cheers, cheers. I am excited, or hi, I literally had like a good time, right? Meeting everyone on this call, and have a lovely, absolutely lovely evening.